What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Zen's Realm. I'm here at my mob spawner because last episode I left it off without finishing up the very top of the actual spawner. So that's what I'm going to jump into right now. Let's get at it, shall we? So I've pillared up and now I'm going to start building the very bottom layer of the spawner here. So I'm just going to start out right about there and I'm going to make a 6x6 square here. So now I just want to make like a little plus shape in the middle here. And that'll be the hole where they drop down from the bottom of the spawner. And then, this is kind of weird, I'm going to go around and put like 2 blocks like this on each side here. Now I'm just going to put a block there because I can. And I need to get my torches and my andesite blocks again. And this is the one that's attached to the switch. This is the one that's attached to the button. So then I want to put some blocks on top. And on the one that's connected to the switch, I'm going to be putting a torch right there, and now I'm going to start on my timing mechanism here. So I just need to kind of make a little platform out from the bottom of this torch here. Now I need to get my redstone and my comparators actually. So I'll just put a couple redstone here, and then one should go here, and then you run 4 comparators on this side. 1, 2, 3, 4, going into a block like so. And then you need 4 going back the other way. And this is actually a timer. So now I need a system to repower it after it turns off and make it so that it will send 2 signals to turn on and then off the dispensers at a delay for each one. So it will turn them on and then wait a little while and then turn them back off while repowering this system. I need to run some redstone up onto there. And now I need to get my repeaters back out again. And this will be the second part of the pulse. So when the timer goes off, this one gets a pulse already, so that'll be sent up to our dispensers through this block here. Now we need a second pulse, so we just put it on a nice long delay so that we get like, I don't know, 10 seconds of, probably not even 10, but we get a few seconds of nice water going to push the mobs down. So then complete that with 6 repeaters there. So let's take a look at this really quick. You just depower it, and then it repowers itself. I already got 1 pulse, and then there's my second pulse. So let's watch again. Get 1 pulse and a second pulse. So that will turn our water on and then off again. So that's the timing system complete. So now on this other side, the one that's connected to the button, I just put another torch up here, grab my half slabs, and I should go out, I think 3. So I go 1, 2, and then I can come over here and go with my third one. And then I just need to put a block there with a torch here and my redstone. So what will happen with this is anytime I hit the button down there, it will send a pulse to all my dispensers. So if they're on, I can completely turn them off, and if they're off, I can turn them completely on. The next thing I want to do is start the channels between the spawn platforms, which will lead into this hole here. So I want to start on these 2 corner blocks on each side, put down a couple filler blocks, go to the left side of them, and put on my blocks there. Now I can remove these filler blocks, and I want to go out here and count to 7 in a zigzag pattern. 6 and 7. And that's where it will end and the water will not be able to continue on. So now I can just go in here and fill in the sides. Should be something like that. And one last side here, like so. So now I just want to do the same thing up here, except this time it goes to the right. So I put my filler blocks here, go over to the right, 1, 2, and then I do the same zigzag pattern. So I just want to continue this diagonal going through, make sure I finish it off there, like so. And the other side, 1, 2, and 3, and then it's finished off. So now that I have each one of these done on each corner, I need to make kind of a scaffolding to go around and to send the redstone signal around to each set of dispensers. So I'm going to kind of go off of this one right here, because this is where the redstone will be. Oops. Yeah. So I just need to bring my dirt back around here. Once I reach the corners of these, I'm just going to be placing half slabs, because that will be the very lowest level of where the redstone will actually go, and I need this to kind of duck under where the walls themselves will be. So now that I have that done all the way around, Now I can just run the upper layer of half slabs pretty easily just by running on top of this. Then I'm going to put a block here, and that allows the redstone signal to go up as well as down. So then I just put my block here and do the same thing over here, just run across. And with that all done, it's time to run the actual redstone itself. So I just run it along like this, put down a repeater after each one of those blocks. Then I go up here and I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And on that 7th one, I put down my repeater and a block. And then I just repeat the same pattern all the way around. And then once I get to the last corner, going counterclockwise over back to the timer, I'm not going to put anything. I've only put those blocks there so that it looks the same as all of the other corners. And of course I can go ahead and remove that dirt. This next part here with the cactuses is kind of important as a way to kill the spiders before they even make it to the hole, so you get a little boost of efficiency that way. Just want to place a block here, put down 2 sand where the cactuses will go. And I'm just going to use these to represent the cactuses above. So I want to cover up the sand so I don't have to see it from the outside. Put a block above those 2. And then stretch this out here. And then I want to come over here and just finish off this wall here next to where the ice is. So it's pretty easy to tell where that should be. Then I can just remove this middle block here and remove the sand and place down my cactuses. And if you look, we have a little gap right here. We just need to go through and fill those in with blocks by placing down a filler block and popping them on the side there. Remove your filler block and then just go ahead and do that on each side of each channel. I've already done it on all of the rest, as you can see. There you go. So now I'm ready to start on the pads. I just want to start on top of these cactuses to make it a little bit safer, and I want to go over the top of this diagonal just like so until I reach the redstone back here. Just be careful not to fall off. There we go. And an easy way to fill this in is just to go diagonally, and you can easily just hit the side of that block just like so, and you just do that on each side here until you reach all the way back to that redstone in a nice big triangle. Just as a quick side note here, I like to put a nice little viewing window right about here so that it makes it much easier to see when the water's moving around from the dispensers up here. Now that we've created our first set of pads and put torches all over the top to keep mobs from spawning while we're working up here, just want to go to the end of your channel, put down 2 filler blocks and get some stairs, put them upside down, and that will keep them from cutting off the redstone signal as it goes around. And then you can just go in with full blocks and fill in the rest of your wall just like so. Remove your filler blocks there. Now to begin the wall, I just want to go to this back block here with the redstone repeater running into it, put down a dispenser, hop up on top, put an upside down stair there, and that will keep the redstone from getting cut off when we start our half slab tower here. So I just want to run another filler block, half slab, filler block, half slab, filler block, half slab. I'm going to go 3 above where the dispenser is, so just 1 more. And then as I go down and remove the filler blocks, I just want to fill it in with redstone, just like so. And to finish off the wall, I just want to go up 2 more blocks above where the actual platform is and just fill it in all the way across, and do that on every side. Just remember, before you seal off any of these corners here, just put down a torch or something to prevent the mobs from spawning in that corner there, because it would be pretty useless if they did. Now at this point I could just put water source blocks in each of the corners, water buckets in each of the dispensers, a roof, and some torches on top, and call it a day and have a fully functioning mob spawner, but it probably won't be as efficient. I've already committed to building 5 levels. That's why I started at level 200 down there, because I knew how tall this would be up to world limit. So all I want to do is repeat the same pattern of walls, the half slabs, and dispensers on each level. So over here on this wall, you have the basic pattern that I'm going to be using on each side, on each level. And I just want to show you really quickly that you just send this redstone up using the half slabs, and you put the redstone dust on the block above each dispenser. And whether the half slab is below that block or directly in line with that block, the dispenser will be able to successfully receive power. So now I can just use the very edge of that redstone dust, as you can see, to place this block and make my platform. this platform does not need a window. As I go along, I want to make sure that I put torches on each level so that when I come back from getting supplies, I don't end up getting blown up by a creeper and ruining half of my project. And then I also want to make sure that each dispenser has redstone on the block above it. Otherwise, that level will not get any water, and you'll end up getting a lot of mobs building up on one of your sections, and it will dramatically affect your efficiency. I want to make a really important note here. You probably should not use the packed ice. It is a waste at this point in the game, because it used to be that the packed ice would make mobs move more quickly when the water's flowing over it, but I've done quite a bit of testing to confirm the fact that it is not working in any current versions. So you should just save your packed ice and use any kind of opaque block, anything that will allow mobs to spawn on it. And it's nice to know that each one of these platforms takes exactly 64 blocks, so for each level you need 4 stacks for those platforms. Now that I have all 5 levels of my platforms done, I'm ready to just put on my roof and light it up with torches. Just make sure you have the spawner really well lit up here so no mobs will spawn up here. And really quickly double check that each and every one of your dispensers is connected to redstone. Now to finish off the water in the channels, I'm going to put a sign on each side like this, and then a sign like that. So now when I put my water buckets, it will flow all the way down to the bottom, and don't worry, those torches will be collected down there. Looks like everything's flowing correctly. Now I just need to go up to each layer and fill in each dispenser with 1 water bucket. And you know what? This spawner is 100% done. Now I left 3 torches on each of those platforms, so when I turn the system on, I should get 60 torches back. So just to make sure I got every single torch, I'm just going to go ahead and hit this button right here to turn on all the dispensers. We should see them all turn on very shortly here. There we go. Alright, and I should start to see my torches flowing down any second. Now would you look at that, 60 torches, just as I suspected. Alright, now time to test this baby out. I've already done a fair bit of testing, as you can see, but I want to start fresh for you guys, so I'm going to make the ultimate sacrifice for this. I'm going to have to find a good spot to jump off here. Oh man, bye-bye. Hopefully I don't have anything. Alright, now that I'm back up here, just want to run over here and flip the switch to turn on the timer and hit the button. If I wanted to, I could just leave the switch off and leave the timer off and use the button to manually turn on and off the water whenever I want to flush out the mobs myself. But I like to use the timer because I'm lazy and I like to just sit here and watch it. So while it's warming up, which takes maybe about 15 seconds when you first start out, I just wanted to make a note that you should go underneath your area and go all the way around underneath the ground, lighting up the caves for maximum efficiency, because if you check right now, if you look right here, my entity count is going crazy, and that's because underneath the ground there are all kinds of mobs trying to spawn, and they have nowhere close enough to me to spawn that they'll be able to stay, so they disappear immediately, and that kind of takes a little bit away from my efficiency. But as you can see, this thing is filling up pretty quickly here. Just know that if I had done that already, it would be even a little bit better than this. So let's see how many mobs we have here already. We already have 32. It usually takes around like a minute and a half to 2 minutes to get around like 60 or 70 mobs in here. So let me show you what I'm going to do once that's done. Alright, so I just ran down really quickly. That thing's still going. It's just about 10 seconds have passed. Just grab some TNT, and now I'm going to show you what these little corners here are for. So you can just fill these up with TNT. Once you get a lot of mobs in there, if I can fill it in there, you can blow them all up with one go. So you can get about 70 mobs worth of XP all in one go if you wait a couple of minutes for this thing to fill up. So let's test it out. I just want to click it right there, run over here, get inside my square. This is my safe square, and immediately just run over and get all my XP. Let's see how many levels I can get out of this. Oh man, this looks crazy. I'm just covered in XP. I always go into third person because it's kind of annoying when you're in first person. You can't see anything. This thing is pretty efficient, if you ask me. So yeah, usually on the first go I get to about 17 or 18 levels. And the thing starts to fill up pretty quickly already after that. Sorry about the mob sounds there. It was a little bit loud. I went ahead and turned them down. Just want to tell you, if you don't want to use the TNT, you can just stand here and whack them. The creepers and skeletons take 1 to 2 hits, and the zombies take 2 to 3 hits as long as they're not wearing armor. And of course you can use a potion of strength or a beacon to turn this into a one-hit farm pretty easily. I personally prefer the TNT because it only takes like 3 full sets of mobs to get up to level 30. And once you get up to level 30 and do an enchantment, it just takes 1 more set of mobs to get back to level 30, so you can just go enchant, do a set, enchant, do a set, so you can enchant like once every few minutes pretty easily. I just want to take a moment to thank Smoking Koala for inspiring the spawning pads that I used in this design. I think in his video he said that Daedalus originally came up with the concept, but I personally was inspired by the Smoking Koala, so I'll provide a link to his video in the description so you guys can check out his channel. If you check in your chest here, you can see that you'll get way more gunpowder than you need to justify using the TNT, I think. But I just want to let you guys know what's coming up in the future. Next episode, I'm going to be working on my adjustable enchantment table. If you know anything about adjustable enchantment tables, I'm sure you're rolling your eyes right now. It's probably going to be crazy complex and big, a lot of redstone, a lot of different mechanisms. But no, this one just uses repeaters, redstones, and levers. That's it. That is it. And you can make it completely flush. It only takes up a small area, like you go 2 blocks below where the enchantment table setup is, and it just goes in a square around it. You guys will see this. It's pretty intuitive, pretty easy to use, and I think a 5-year-old could build this one. You guys, I think you'll be surprised with this if you know anything about adjustable enchantment table setups. I'm also going to be building Skelex's disc shop, so you guys can check out what that's going to be. Alright, anyway, see you guys next time.